Attorny, Justice for All. I finally got the title right this time. What part is this again? 6. God, I love to take my sweet-ass time with these games. Is my mic even on? Yes, it is. Good. Anyway, we're about to go into court to try and defend our boy, Maximilian Magic Boy. I forgot what his last name was. But, last time we had some interesting encounters with some colorful characters, and it's been a while since I've played, so I've got a walkthrough with me just to kind of help me along in case I get, confused. And I know that's considered cheating in some circles, but you know what? This is my stream. I get to make the rules. Cool. Are we good with that? Awesome. Great. So anyway, I'm just going to take a minute to get everything set up here. And, yeah, just enjoy the tunes. Because Phoenix Wright is known for their amazing tunes. Alright, I think it's time we get this ball rolling. Alright. Max, what kind of voice did he have? Well, I suppose I gave him sort of a southern drawl since we find out he's from the country. So, why not go with that right there? I say, boy. Good morning, Max. Max? Milk. What? If I don't have a glass of milk before I go on stage, I just can't function, sweetie. Stage? Don't worry, there won't be a stage. All you have to do is sit down. I guess. Nick? Max is really nervous. That's understandable. Hey! My sweeties. What? You don't think I should fly, do you? Huh? You know, you gotta make a good first impression. When I enter the room, maybe I should fly in and warm up the crowd a little. So on. No. We can't be having you flying around the courtroom. It just wouldn't be right. Imagine if you hit someone. Imagine the lawsuits that I would have to go into and defend. That just means I'd have to defend you more, and I sure as hell don't want that. Don't worry, Max. Just do what Nick says and everything will be okay. Oh, sweetie. What is it this time, Max? Why don't you try flying into the courtroom? I can see it now. The dashing young lawyer from... I can't talk. The dashing young lawyer flying fabulously in from above. One glimpse of that, and everyone in the room will be on your side. Max, really, no one needs to fly today. Nick, what's with that look in your eyes? I like the sound of that. Dashing young lawyer flying fabulously. And now the case of one... What? Your Honor, get on with it. Oh, sorry, I just realized that the defendant's name was... Billy Bob Johns. So? Well, isn't the defendant also known as Maximilian Galactica? Yes, Your Honor. He does often go by that name. You know, my grandchild is a huge fan of his. I think everyone here wouldn't mind if we had called the defendant Maximilian Galactica. It sounds more friendly. I wonder if this is our... I wonder if that is our advantage. Miss Von Karma, your opening statement, if you please. I hope you didn't bother thinking you would win this one, Mr. Phoenix Wright. God, everyone keeps texting me right now. Goodness. Eh? That spirit channeling trial was a sham. I refuse to acknowledge its legitimacy. It did not count. Do you hear me? She must still be upset about what happened last time. You have no chance. Zero. Zilch. Nada. I'm not losing this case. Why, you ask? Because it is not the nature of a Von Karma to lose at anything. But your dad lost his freedom privileges. Oh. I guess being born with the name Von Karma is a free pass to be arrogant and annoying. Watch and learn, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'll show you the textbook procedure for proving how absolutely guilty you are. Me? Guilty? What are you talking about? It will be my ultimate revenge. But it's not like it'll bring her dad back. There, opening statement complete. Now let's hurry and wrap up this waste of time. Very well. You may call your first witness, Miss Von Karma. Detective Dick Gumshoe, get up here. Now! It's my boy, Dick Gumshoe. Sorry to keep you from work, as I'm sure you need every penny you earn, Detective. Don't mention it. It's no trouble at all. I've been looking forward to this. Very well. I would like you to begin by shedding light on the events in question. At your service, sir. All right, Detective. You may proceed with your testimony. Alright, Dick. Give us the deets.
The night of the crime, snow was falling till 9:40 p.m., making it extremely cold out. All the circus performers were gathered in the big top to practice their routines. The practice session broke up around 10 p.m. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m. The victim was found bent over a wooden box, dead as a doornail. The cause of death was blunt force trauma that snapped a vertebrae in his neck. I see. He was beaten to death. Here's the autopsy report for the victim. The court accepts this, and
so he doesn't say accepts, because is he referring to the court as like plural people? Whatever. It's no big deal.
The court accepts this into evidence.
Or have I just been saying it wrong this whole time? Probably the latter.
A blunt object. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may begin your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Details of the events. Let's press our boy Dick Gumshoe on everything. It was making it extremely cold out. Are you sure it was snowing? Are you Let me ask you about the snow.
It was nearly a blizzard up until the time of the crime.
Did it pile up?
It wasn't such a big deal. Maybe about 1.5 inches was on the ground. The snow froze in place and stayed on the ground till the next day.
The snow. Let me see. There's gotta be more to this. Eh? What's the matter, Nick? I need to take a look at the court record.
Mr. Gumshoe, what were the members of the circus doing on the night of the crime?
All the circus performers were gathered in the big top to practice their routines. Let me look at the court record again. God, everyone in this game is so young, except for these two, obviously. Let's see. I feel like it has something to do with that picture of the snow, but I'll come back to that later. They were all in the tent, but that sounds fishy. When you say all of the circus performers, who do you mean?
Everyone but the dancers and the staff were there. Regina the animal tamer, Mo the clown, Ben the ventriloquist, and of course, the defendant, Maximilian Galactica, and his victim, the ringmaster. Oh, I almost forgot. Regent the tiger was there as well.
Out of curiosity, what about the circus monkey?
When I was investigating yesterday, he happened to snatch my wristwatch. Detective, you're welcome to file a police report after these proceedings.
God, the judge is such a... I love him. Practice session broke up around 10 p.m. After the practice was over, where did everyone head off to?
Gina was playing with the regent, while Mo went back to his room, tired from work. Ben the ventriloquist went to the front gate, absorbed in his own world. The ringmaster and Max went off to the ringmaster's room to talk privately. Talk privately, huh? That's awfully suspicious. You wouldn't happen to know what they were talking about, would you? Seems they were negotiating Max's salary.
Actually, Max was asking for Regina's hand in marriage.
The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m.
Oh. Damn it. Hi, babe. I'd like you to be a little more specific about the events at 10:15.
Okay. No problem, pal. We got a witness that told us how the whole thing went down. Ow!
This is totally meaningless. Time to move on.
All right. We'll just have to revisit that testimony later. Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling us how the victim met his end? The victim was found bent over a wooden box, dead as a doornail.
A wooden box?
That's right. That ain't a wooden box.
It's not wooden.
Locked, you say?
Damn it, I was... What? Oh, so it was wooden. Okay. This may be my only chance, so I might as well ask some questions. Ask about the contents. Do you mind telling us what was inside that box?
Well, when we found the box, it was locked tighter than Fort Knox. So we took it back to the station and cracked it open. All that was inside was this little bottle. Bottle? What is that, detective? Exactly what it looks like, Your Honor. It's a condiment bottle.
What's inside the bottle?
It's filled with pepper. Pepper? Why in the world was it locked in that big box?
There was only one little bottle in that huge box? I wonder if that has some sort of special meaning. Are you sure it was pepper, though? According to the autopsy report, the murder weapon was a blunt object, correct?
Done your homework, pal.
And you haven't found this murder weapon, have you? The police are searching for it as we speak.
My theory is that it was... My theory...
Voice crack, sorry.
My theory is that it's something the perpetrator ran off with. You would think so, especially since you didn't find it on the scene. No. He made it disappear with magic. Well, I think we have a good feel for the I think we have a good feel for the details of the event now.
I guess that's all we're gonna get out of Gumshoe on this case. You mean all we're gonna get out of him is that little bottle of pepper? Now that we have wrapped up with the detective, I'd like to call my next witness.
Not even off the stand yet.
Obviously, but that's due to you being slow and unable to take a hint.
I don't know. Wrapped up. There's such a mean sound to it. I'm a sensitive guy.
I don't know. Sorry, babe. I was looking at the walkthrough. Because I have it open because it's been a while since I've played, and I don't remember all the details.
Thank you very much, Detective Gumshoe. You may step down. Miss Von Karma, call your next witness.
I would like to call Mr. Benjamin Woodman to the stand. She must be talking about Ben the ventriloquist. I wonder if Trillo will show up on the stand as well. Please state your name and occupation for the record. Luna, get off her lap.
My full name is Triloquist. I am employed as an operatic tenor.
Excuse me? The witness called to the stand was one Mr. Benjamin Woodman, ventriloquist.
That robe must be cutting off your circulation. I said that I was the singer. Maybe you don't believe me. Fine, I'll grace you with a song. Me. The world of the law, exciting and daring, guilt or innocence, decided by a judge dressed up like a woman. Well, what do you think?
It had a good rhythm. It's just the lyrics. They leave something to be desired, so to speak. Trillo, you know better than to insult a judge.
Shut up! Just look at your nose. You would think you'd have a sense to fix it. It's so ugly, I want to punch you in the face on top of... I want to punch you in the face on the off chance swelling would help. You know that your nose is the reason you'll never be an A-list star?
Celebrities must really enjoy saying everything that flashes into their minds.
What's going on here? Order! Order! I demand to know who the witness is.
Don't worry about me, sir. I'll let Trillo handle this.
I'm not worried about you one bit. I'm worried about getting... Ow!
You won't get anywhere trying to figure out this witness. Now let's proceed.
Excuse me. Once practice was over, I left the tent with the stooge. I meant clown. Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the plaza's entrance. That's when I saw Max, heading towards the scene of the crime. He was the only one heading that way. How could that punk not be the killer?
I get a feeling he's the killer.
Then, the police showed up and took Magic Boy away.
You saw Maximilian Galactica heading towards the scene. You're sure of that?
Without a doubt. He had on his silk hat, cloak, and the dumb white roses on his chest. How can you mistake someone with that crazy getup and his nose stuck up so high?
That's enough. I think we all get the picture. Just one thing. You said you ditched the clown.
That's right, Dress Boy.
Well, since you weren't with him, wouldn't that mean the clown committed the crime?
He's got a point. What a shame. It was a nice theory, but the clown can't be the culprit.
Why's that?
Here's the absolute proof.
A silk hat?
This was found at the scene of the crime. It belongs to the defendant. Without question, he was wearing his signature hat during practice. If the clown was the murderer, there would be no reason for this hat to be at the scene.
Well done, Miss Von Karma. Your prosecutorial skills are unrivaled. Well done.
Fucking curtsies. Thank you for stating the obvious. Mr. Phoenix Wright, what do you have to say? That you are a thought. I guess she's the boss again today. Time to cross-examine Mr. Pee-wee, Woody, the Cowboy, Ventriloquist, Batman, whatever. I'm gonna press you for everything you've got. The clown? You're talking about Mo, right?
Of course I'm talking about that old fart. He's so pathetic, I can't stand him. Just a little bit of exercise and his makeup is running all over the place. Once practice was over, he was 9/10 of the way to keeling over for good.
Poor guy.
We didn't have any choice, so Ben took him back to his room. When it comes to being a first-place loser, that guy's ahead of the pack.
Then what happened?
Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the plaza's entrance.
Why the plaza's entrance?
To do some thinking, of course.
It was awfully cold out that night, especially with all the snow around. Wouldn't thinking in your nice, warm lodging house have been a better idea? Mr. Phoenix Wright, I think you should leave the thinking to the witness. But I'm a good thunker. At least my teachers always said I was. A thunker. God.
That's when I saw Max heading towards the scene of the crime.
Are you sure it was really Max Galactica?
Of course I'm sure. How could you mistake someone wearing such a snobby three-piece getup?
Snobby three-piece getup?
Get the wax out of your ears. Lawyers nowadays, you're like talking to a brick wall. Max's three-piece getup. Jeez, could you be any more dense? All together now. Silk hat.
Cloak. White roses.
Thank you.
Nick,
I think you should put a little bit more effort into preparing your questions.
God, my voice is already giving out. Excuse me. He was the only one heading that way. How could he not be the killer? That statement right there is pretty sus. You saw Max and only Max, right, Trillo?
That's right. That makes him the killer. There was only one person headed that way that night.
That makes quite a bit of sense and makes Max one suspicious character.
There's more to this story than meets the eye. Is there something amiss in this? Amiss in this. Are you sure you only saw Max? Yes? Because again, where was the clown? That's a bit strange, don't you think?
What's strange?
That you only saw Max. Doesn't it seem like you should have seen someone else as well?
What? Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Who else do you suppose this witness could have seen?
The monkey. I don't know. Russell Berry. Well, yeah, it makes sense. It's the ringmaster.
That's the victim.
That's correct. If Trillo was at the entrance to the plaza, he should have seen the ringmaster as well.
Aha! Obviously, the ringmaster arrived at the scene of the crime before the witness.
Could have seen him. Stupid.
Anyone with sense could have figured that one out.
What are you talking about? The ringmaster and Max went together to the ringmaster's room.
Is that, according to the defendant, a likely story?
If Maximilian Galactica was supposed to be in the ringmaster's room, why was he just as the witness stated at the scene of the crime?
Ah!
I see. It seems at this stage I have no reason to doubt this witness's testimony. And there are clearly no conclusive contradictions.
He's right. A brilliant judgment, Your Honor. Now let's move along with the testimony. Trillo wouldn't happen to have an ulterior motive for incriminating Max, would he? Well, Max is part of that bitter love triangle with Regina. Which is probably why Max conked him over the head.
Nick? Wasn't Ben the one who got knocked over the head?
Yeah. I think so. I don't know anymore. Around what time did the police arrive at the scene?
I suppose that would have been around... Hey, what time was it?
Huh? I think it was around, I'd say a bit after 10:30, I think. Practice ended at 10, so you hung around the lodging house the entire time? I guess that sounds about right. Wasn't it awfully cold? I can't believe you just stand outside in that weather.
Well, the truth is... Will you shut up, you big-nosed dope? Why are you telling him anything extra? Why can't you believe that we just stand outside in that weather?
Well, maybe you were waiting for someone.
What? Who said we were waiting for someone?
Objection!
Mr. Phoenix Wright, we can all do without your offhanded theories.
Objection!
But this witness, he's cracking under the pressure already. I'm onto something.
Mr. Wright? Who do you suppose the witness was waiting for out in the cold that night?
It's obvious, isn't it? The woman, or should I say minor, that he's trying to woo.
Take that!
Well, if he was waiting outside in the cold, it was for one person. And one person only. He was waiting for the animal tamer,
Regina.
What?
You were waiting outside for Regina to come back to the lodging house. Am I mistaken?
Is this true?
Well, you can't really ask me that question.
Who cares who I was waiting for that night? What's important is what I saw. Don't you forget it.
Well. The puppet may be a bit stiff, but he's right.
Huh? All right. There is obviously a reason why this witness was there that night. He spent all that time waiting for Regina to arrive. Moreover, even if someone else would have walked right in front of him, I doubt he would have paid them a second thought.
Ah! That makes perfect sense.
What did you just say?
The witness saw the defendant at the scene of the crime. However, he did not see the victim on the way to his eventual demise. If you accept that, then you must accept that there's a high likelihood that he could have missed someone else other than Max heading to the... Ow! There's absolutely no proof that the witness was waiting for the animal tamer.
I guess you got me. All right. I'll spill the beans for real this time. It's true. I was waiting for Regina.
Pain! Don't volunteer things.
Mr. Quist, tell us the truth this time, and I mean the whole truth. Were you or were you not waiting for Regina at the entrance to the lodging house?
I was waiting to propose to her.
You were what? Waiting to propose? Sir, don't you understand that she's a minor? I'll get Chris Hansen in here at once.
What's the matter? You think that humans have a monopoly on marriage?
That the matter of puppet marriage is not under review in this case.
You're the judge. I mean, look at your horrible outfit.
More pain. Thanks for your bumbling. My perfect plan is not so perfect anymore. Now we have to waste time getting to the bottom of some silly proposal by a puppet.
Don't be so surprised that I was going to propose to Regina. I even had something to give her. I kept it in my pocket, waiting for the chance to propose and give it to her. Of course, I also had it in my pocket that night. It was a present for her. In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket.
What does it have in its pockets? Precious. You were going to propose? You? A puppet?
Don't be so obtuse. Just because I'm a puppet doesn't mean I can't love.
I guess you're right. Just because I'm old doesn't mean I couldn't propose to her too.
Your Honor! Show some dignity in a court of law. God.
Exactly.
His Honor is looking a little less than... Thank you. His Honor is looking a little less than honorable right now.
Okay, Mr. Wright, please continue with your cross-examination.
What was with that sigh at the end?
Oh, that dirty, dirty old man.
By proposal, you mean proposing marriage to Regina?
Of course that's what I meant. What kind of stupid question is that? I wasn't going to propose that we become some sort of outlaw biker gang together.
Actually, that would be pretty cool.
Right, Ben?
Yeah.
Got it? That's the truth. I even had something to give her. I kept it in my pocket, waiting for the chance to propose and give it to her.
And what was it? Was it a ring? Whose pocket was the ring in?
Mine, of course. What a stupid question. You've got to be kidding me. You think Ben could just pull that off?
I'm sorry. Really?
You don't have to apologize for that. He's the one who should be apologizing.
Really?
Of course. I also had it in my pocket that night. It was a present for her.
So you went to the lodging house to give it to her?
That's right. I tried to give it to her during practice so many times that I lost count, but that uppity snob kept getting in the way.
Uppity snob? You couldn't possibly be talking about me, Maximilian Galactica. When I get a hold of him, I'm gonna saw his whole wood block off in half, and not with magic. Well, they always say that love creates rivalries. So what about this present? Do you now? Then what's this? Your Honor? Damn it. I fucked up, I think. You know what they say, love is blind. Does? I don't see anything contradictory. Huh? Really? Objection denied. Try to think before you make accusations, Mr. Wright. Damn it! Whoops, that didn't go so well. What was it exactly that you planned on giving her?
You know exactly what I was gonna give her, numbskull. The only thing I could find that could match Regina's beauty.
Answer his question. What was it?
You're gonna die when you hear this. It's an engagement ring.
Engagement ring? Wow. Those two nearly fell out of their chairs.
Mr. Phoenix Wright's joke has gone too far.
Time for this to end right here. Francisca's whip looks like it's about to lash out at almost anything. One hit from that thing will probably shut someone up for a long time. Push on anyway. It may be something of a joke, but this is a historic moment. The first time that a puppet has ever proposed to— Ow! I advise you cut this argument short. I'm going to have to agree with the defense here. Will the witness please revise their testimony? Specifically about the engagement ring. I'd like to stick to facts, not sociology.
You sure do enjoy sweating the details, especially for a man in a black bathrobe. Planned on giving an engagement ring to Regina.
Oh, so... Are you talking about... this ring?
Objection!
There we go, I had to do that first. Trillo, do you mind if I show you something? What is it?
What are you talking about?
Uh-oh. Looks like they're going to double team me from now. Do you recognize this ring?
Ah! That's mine! Give it back! Thief! Thief!
Didn't you just testify about this very object? I believe you said, in the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket. Why then do I have it right here?
Ah!
What is going on here?
That's... Ben, say something!
Don't put me on the spot like that, Trillo. I found this in Money's room. Money's room? You mean a room they put money? Like a bank vault?
Ha! That filthy monkey is gonna get what's coming to him.
Mr. Quist, I would prefer if you avoided slandering innocent fiats in my court. Well, Your Honor, Money really is a monkey, in every sense of the word. Ah, I see. Well then. Money likes to go after the shiniest things that he can find and gather them up. Shiny things? Trillo, When was this ring stolen from you? Well, I suppose it was that time, you know, that night, the night of the crime.
What did you just say?
Details. I need more details. Well, it was stolen right after Max showed up in the plaza. Right about when you saw the defendant walk past. Oh, that's Phoenix. Right about when you saw the defendant walk past, correct? Well, I guess you might, be able to say that. The ring might have, well, it could have been taken around that time. Oof, that monkey's going ham.
Ben, what's with you? Oh, whatever. It has nothing to do with anything, especially not who committed the murder.
It's not for you to decide what has to do with what. Now, Trillo, back to the topic at hand.
I haven't admitted a thing. Not I, Mr. Triloquist.
What did you do when the ring was taken, Trillo?
You know exactly what I did. I chased after that ring-snatching monkey.
But you weren't able to catch up with him, were you?
It's all this slow, loafy fool called Ben's fault. While he was fumbling his way through the snow, that dumb monkey was able to get away.
That is indeed an incredible shame. Well, this does indeed prove one very important point.
Prove an important point? What point could that possibly be?
Ben's testimony... Well, let me save real quick, just in case I fuck up. Ben's testimony has a flaw. There's a huge contradiction in this witness's testimony.
A contradiction?
The witness just testified to the following effect. Up until the police arrived, he didn't move from the entrance to the plaza. However, the witness just stated that he chased after Money the monkey. When the witness was off chasing Money, there was no one watching the plaza.
What is the meaning of all this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Where are you going with this little theory of yours?
I'm saying that there's no possible way that this witness saw the plaza the entire time. That's where I'm going with this little theory, which leads me to my next point. It is entirely possible that someone other than the defendant was at the scene. Interesting, Mr.
Well then, tell me this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Do you have any proof that something slid past this vigilant ventriloquist?
Well, he obviously didn't see the victim, the ringmaster, arrive on the scene.
However, that doesn't change the fact that he saw the defendant arrive.
The witness is lying. He's blinded by his rivalry with Max. Well, the defense's argument does hold water. This witness does have a history of animosity towards the defendant.
What? How dare you? I wouldn't lie just to get that dork face in trouble. He's not even worth it. I saw him. No doubt about it. I saw that worthless liar.
Well, just for clarity's sake, let's flesh out exactly who you saw on that night.
Huh! I've told you so many times. You think you'd know my story's not changing.
You've already changed your story, Stick Boy, and I'm sure it'll change some more here.
Where there is one lie, there are usually many more behind it.
Exactly, Maya. That's why we have to keep after him.
Yeah.
Let me get a sip.
I'll give you that I was waiting that night for Regina. But that doesn't change the fact that I saw Max in the plaza that night. He showed up after I'd been waiting there for about 5 minutes. I said good evening to him, but he didn't even acknowledge my presence. I'm absolutely sure it was him. I saw Maximilian Galactica at the scene. There's no way I can mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. So that means that money didn't show up until after you saw Max? That's right. Money ran up less than a minute after I saw Max. Then Money snatched the ring and you went chasing after him?
How long was it until you came back to where you were waiting?
Well, let's see. I'd say about... I suppose 5 minutes, I think. So the victim could have arrived on the scene in that 5-minute stretch.
Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination.
Really? So you testified that you said good evening to Max that night.
You must enjoy asking incredibly obvious questions. You say good morning in the morning and good afternoon during the day, right? And it's obvious that I'd say good night to someone at night. What, Ben? You got something to add? Let me guess. That's not it, Trillo. You say good evening at night.
I'm sorry, Trillo.
Mr. Quist, I would prefer if you kept your ventriloquist act outside of the room.
Impossible! Performer lives and breathes his performances. You should know better.
There's gotta be something wrong with this little bit of testimony. Trillo's evening greeting. Isn't that a bit strange to you?
What do you mean?
Well, if you hate Max so much, why would you bother being nice to him? It strikes me as somewhat strange.
Why would it strike you as strange?
Exactly. How is it strange to be cordial to one of your co-workers? Well, if it was simply just being cordial to a co-worker, I would understand.
Ow! That hurt!
Maybe you should think of something. Think of having some proof before your lips start flapping next time. Proof is everything in this world. You should have learned that back in grade school. There's no reason that Trillo would ever say something nice to Max. But how do I go about proving that with the evidence? Bluffing is everything in this world, but I'm sure you already learned that one. I guess I can give it a shot.
The witness will resume his testimony.
Those 3 symbols, huh?
Out of curiosity, exactly how many times have you asked that question by now? If you're gonna ask again, I'll answer with the chorus. Everyone together now.
Silk hat.
Cloak. White roses.
Thank you very much.
Maya, you didn't have to join in, did you? But it's fun shouting out with everyone else. There has to be a hole in his testimony somewhere. I agree. But do we have the proof to make something stick? All we can do is try, right, Nick? We gotta have something that'll prove useful. Alright, time to go to work. Okay.
Objection!
Trillo, is it not true that you had a fight with Max on the day of the murder? A fight? A fight over Regina, to be exact.
It wasn't that big of a deal. It was just an argument. A disagreement at most.
A disagreement usually doesn't end with conking, with someone getting conked over the head.
Ah!
That morning, Ben got clobbered over the head by Max, didn't he?
What? Is that an admission of assault and battery?
Ouch! Before we handle that, we should wrap up the defendant's murder charge first. The truth is that on that day of the crime, The truth is that on the day of the crime, the defendant and witness had a huge fight. There's absolutely no way they would have suddenly become cordial that evening. Moreover, just consider the personality of the witness on the stand. There's no way a puppet this lewd would just sup and say, "Good evening," to his rival.
Ah! Are you saying this witness is lying? That he is trying to frame the defendant by claiming to have seen him at the crime scene? I didn't tell a single lie. Honestly, I just...
That's enough from you, Mr. Quist. Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's clarify this testimony for the court. Could you explain your theory about who the witness actually saw that night?
Well, obviously he saw a different person. It's my belief that the witness did indeed see someone that night. It was just someone else. That's who he said good evening to.
What kind of theory is that?
The correct one. Furthermore, I don't believe the person the witness saw was Max at all.
What?
If he had truly met Max that night, there would have been no greeting at all. Which means there's only one proper answer. The person the witness saw that night was not Maximilian Galactica.
That is why Trillo excuse me.
That is why Trillo made the effort to greet whoever it was that he saw that evening. Or good evening, as he put it.
What in the world? You...
Would the defense kindly explain who it was Trillo saw then that evening?
The ringmaster. Considering the ill temper of this witness, there's only one person he would greet.
It must be Regina. It's Regina, right? She's so cute.
No, Your Honor, it is not Regina. If it was Regina, Trillo would have given her the engagement ring as a present.
Oh, yeah. I suppose you've got a point there.
It was Russell Berry, the victim himself, was it not?
You are correct. It was indeed Russell Berry. The person you saw that evening was the victim, the ringmaster, Russell Berry. That's why you greeted him, Trillo, isn't that correct? Answer the question, Mr. Quist.
Wah! Ah!
Order! Order! How do you respond to this?
Well, wait a second. Well, at first I thought it was the old man, but once I got a better look at him, it was obviously Maximilian Galactica.
I think it is high time that we clear the air about this question. Mr. Quist obviously witnessed a single person in the area of the plaza that evening. The problem is identifying exactly who that person was. Was it Maximilian Galactica? Or was it the ringmaster, one Mr. Russell Berry?
The prosecution argues that it was the defendant the witness saw that night. The witness has clearly stated that he saw the defendant's 3 symbols. There's 3 symbols?
All right, this is getting old. Come on, man. You've got to remember them by now. Here we go again. Everyone, all together now. Ow!
Yes, we know. The silk hat, cloak, and white roses. A silk hat and a cloak. Anyone could wear them. They'd even look good on me.
What was that?
Well, the witness has endlessly repeated that he saw Max's 3 symbols. However, how do we really know it was Maximilian Galactica? It could have been someone else dressed up as him. Possibly even Russell Berry.
What?
Miss Von Karma? Do you have clear evidence that the person the witness saw was the defendant?
Well,
If that's the case, then it is impossible for me to make a judgment at this point.
Yes, I think we finally won a point in this one.
that is very unfortunate.
Huh?
You're just a little too excited for your own good, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
What do you mean by that?
You merely established one thing from this witness.
You established that this witness saw one person in the plaza that night. I applaud you on your effort, but...
But?
Who that person was can only be answered by the next witness. Huh? Your Honor, will be on a doubt. An answer to that question, and evidence that clearly establishes no one other than Maximilian Galactico responsible for this crime.
Very well. The court will take a 10-minute recess. During that time, I request the prosecution prepare the next witness. Court is now in recess.
Whew. Save the progress, yes.
Sweetie, you have to believe me. I didn't go anywhere near that crime scene.
So then, where were you when the murder took place?
We talked about it yesterday, remember? I was in the ringmaster's room.
And while you were there, it was the ringmaster who left the room, right?
Exactly. He told me to wait in the room because he would be right back.
That's when the ringmaster headed to the scene of the crime, right?
That's what it seems like.
But the ringmaster must have been wearing Max's costume, right?
Oh, sweetie, I just remembered. I went straight to the ringmaster's room still dressed in my stage clothes. But when I got there, I went ahead and took the costume off.
Which means...
It means that the ringmaster could have taken this costume and went out looking like Max. Fabulous! That's a fabulously possible possibility.
Well done, Nick.
However, sweetie, why would the ringmaster want to dress up like me? Isn't that a bit strange? If you think about it, all they found at the crime scene was my silk hat. What about my cloak? Where did that go?
Dull, Wow, Max, I never thought of that. You should be a detective or something.
Well, I was never quite sure what I wanted to be when I grew up. Magician or president? I have no idea how hard it was to make a decision.
That's really cool.
Fabulous. This mystery just keeps getting deeper.
Goodness.
I need Jaden over here or something to do voices for me. Now that everyone is back, let's get started. The court is now back in session. Ms. Von Karma, please proceed with the prosecution's case.
Very well. I will now call my next witness. A pitiful clown with the unfortunate distinction of having seen the entire thing.
And you need me over there to do your writing? Sorry, babe.
Will Mr. Lawrence Curls please stand? Please take the stand.
Why did she just call him a pitiful clown? Aw. He's trying his best.
Will the witness state his name and occupation for the court record?
In the West Clown of... he was make a fucking Fresh Prince reference.
Name and occupation.
Will the witness please inform the court why he is speaking autobiographical gibberish?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just not used to being in court. I've never been in a courtroom in my life. I wasn't quite sure what joke is best suited to this sort of occasion.
What in the world are you talking about, man? You're in the Grand Hall of Justice, not some comedy club. Since it's easy to see your occupation, please state your name for the court.
Oh, yeah. Maybe this joke is okay. Mom, do I have to wear pants? The sign only says no shirt, no shoes, no service.
Waha!
Yeah, I don't want to do the clown laugh.
Okay, how about this? Have you met my proctologist, Dr. Seymour Butts? How was that one?
Start to make... Oh my gosh.
Your name? Lawrence Curls, professional funny man. Also known as Mo the Clown.
It just keeps, like, drying up, babe. I don't know why. I've been drinking water like a madman.
You witnessed the scene at around 10:15 the day of the murder. Correct? Yes it is.
Very well, Mr. Curls. Will you please testify to what you saw that evening?
A rabbi, a priest, and a Rastafarian.
Without the humor, please.
Okay. Aw, poor Mo can't be his normal stoogey self in court. I know. I'm not the greatest comedian in the world. I haven't been able to make people laugh for 10 years. No matter what I say, all I get in return is a vacant stare and polite applause. Since no one ever laughs at my jokes, I've taken to laughing at them myself. It's a bad habit, but hey, at least I'm trying. Imagine my predicament. I'm a clown who can't make people laugh. I'm almost useless. But I keep trying. I even tried to come up with jokes just for today. But this atmosphere is very nerve-wracking. I decided to try making everyone laugh. Seriously, everyone, what do you think of me? How am I doing?
Bruh. Aren't we the ones supposed to be asking the questions here?
Witness? Huh?
We will listen to your call for help after the court proceedings are over. Thus, please stick to the facts of this case.
Really? You'll really hear me out?
Well, I'll make sure that one of my staff will be your straight man later.
Thank you! I can't wait!
Poor Gumshoe.
Now that that's settled, shall we begin once again with the testimony?
Of course we can. I'll talk for as long as you want. The night of the murder, after practice was over, I went straight back to my room. You have no idea how tired I was that night. I was pooped. I thought I'd go straight to sleep, but before I did, I glanced out the window. That's when I saw two silhouettes. They were a bit far away, though. It was the ringmaster, and he was with Max, who was wearing his cloak. I kept watching them, and all of a sudden, Max clonked the ringmaster over the head.
That's very interesting. If this eyewitness account is to be believed, I have enough to pass judgment right now.
Of course you can. There's no way that this account can be criticized.
However, the witness is a bit, how do you say, off-kilter. Almost like he has some sort of atmosphere of guilt surrounding him. Wah!
That must be because of my insincere smile.
Mr. Wright, please begin the defense's cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Nick, you've got to find some sort of contradiction in his testimony.
I know that.
Mr. Wright,
Your Honor.
I'm afraid that if you push this witness too far, it would bring disaster upon the court. Thus, I sincerely hope you're not going to engage in pointless saber-rattling.
I understand, Your Honor.
If if you cause this clown to stray from the facts, I'll hold you responsible.
That sounds oddly, it sounds like you're gonna whip my boy. Why am I responsible? I'm not the one with the corny jokes. Okay. You just happened to glance out of the window?
You could say that. You could also say I peeked, stared, glimpsed, peeped, eyeballed.
Mr. Curls!
Oh, I guess synonyms aren't allowed either.
What should I do? I wonder if I should press him further on this issue. Keep pressing. Exactly what did you look out of your window? Exactly why did you look out of your window that night?
Why? Why? Clowns don't need a reason to look out their windows, do they?
That's not what I meant. I meant that, well, when we spoke yesterday...
Once I had tucked myself into bed, I heard this amazing noise. It was incredibly loud. It sounded like a giant thump. Oh yeah! I forgot about that.
You forgot? Your Honor, the witness looked out of his window upon hearing a loud sound. He did not just simply glance out of his window that night.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot to mention that thump, didn't I? Ow!
That's not something you just forget to mention. Yeah, what she said. I believe it would be best if Mo were to revise his testimony. Very well, Mr. Curls. Please revise your testimony. This should start turning the tables in our favor.
I heard a huge noise outside the window, and that's what made me look outside.
What was the sound like?
Well, I guess it kind of sounded like, I guess you could say...
Mr. Curls, may the court remind you that humor is unnecessary.
Oh, how'd you know that I was gonna make a joke? I guess that the sound sounded like, I suppose it sounded like someone getting hit with something very hard. Yep, that's what it sounded like, honestly.
Someone getting hit, huh?
What then?
You went to look out the window and you saw... You say you saw the ringmaster get clonked over the head?
Yes, I did. It's the climax of my story.
He really does enjoy the completely random non sequitur. What would you say the victim was struck with?
You mean with a weapon? I have no idea. The weapon wasn't found at the murder scene, right?
That's not what I meant. You did say you see everything, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I suppose I did. Wait, no, I didn't. I didn't see a weapon.
Listen here, you fucking clown. Mo. Did you or did you not see the crime of murder committed that night?
Objection!
I will not permit you to harass my witness in this manner. You'd better have an excellent reason for attacking this poor clown. Because if you don't, you know what is waiting for you. A nice penalty.
Isn't this a bit melodramatic?
So what will it be then, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Do you have any clear basis to believe that my witness did not see the crime?
Of course I do. I've got a great reason to make my claim. And I suppose you will be telling us all that great reason? Of course I will. The reason is the witness's very own testimony.
What is the meaning of that, Mr. Wright?
Mo said that he heard a sound like a thump of someone getting hit.
He did say that.
However, Mo just stated the following under oath. I kept watching them, and all of a sudden, Max clonked the ringmaster over the head. If Mo is to be believed when he said he looked out the window upon hearing a sound, there's no way that he could have seen Max clonk anyone. In 1970... Well, okay.
Mr. Curls, how do you respond to Mr. Wright's assessment?
They didn't commit. These clowns promptly escaped from a maximum security clown car.
Mr. Curls, are you reciting the C-Team theme to anger this court?
I thought it was the A-Team. No. I'm just stalling for time while I jog my memory. Great job, Nick. These types of witnesses always seem to have a selective memory. You just have to peel back the layers of the clown makeup to find the truth. Well,
Ah, you're back from your jog?
Well, it pretty much happened the way I said. Pretty much? When I looked out my window that night, the ringmaster was already face down in the snow. The prosecution helped me fill in the gaps in my statement.
Von Karma! Tampering with... Snooping as usual, I see.
Tampering with witnesses again.
So now you are saying that you did not see the defendant clonk the ringmaster?
Yes. When I looked out my window, the ringmaster had already checked out.
Checked out?
Yep, he was on permanent vacation, as they say.
Mr. Curls!
Your Honor.
You did not witness the actual crime. However, you still say you saw the criminal, correct?
Yes, exactly. The ringmaster was slumped over, and I saw someone's silhouette next to him.
Very well. Then please testify to the silhouette you saw. I expect the truth. And if I even catch a hint of a joke from you, I will put you on a holding cell until you learn court etiquette. Got it?
Got it.
Oh, hold up.
It was a bit far away, but that shadow could have only belonged to Max. There's no doubt about it. Especially since I saw his uppity symbols. His silk hat, that black cloak, they were all there. His face was silhouetted, but there was no doubt that it was him. His cloak was fluttering in the wind, so I couldn't really see what he was carrying.
It does seem as if the defendant was at the scene of the crime.
It took the clown long enough to get his facts straight. But whatever, this should finally be good enough, yes?
It is decisive testimony.
Was Max really at the crime scene that night? He said he wasn't there. We have to believe him in that.
All right, Mr. Wright. Commence your cross-examination.
You say silk hat and cloak. But where were the roses, Let me save real quick.
Objection!
Objection, indeed. You say you saw all of Max's uppity symbols? I suppose so. The silk hat and the cloak, right? Mo. Everyone knows that Maximilian Galactica has 3 uppity symbols. 3 symbols? Yay! Everyone get ready. All together now. Silk hat, cloak, white roses.
What the? Who cares if he knew that there were 3 or not? He saw what he saw, and he saw the symbols. He just forgot to mention one. Isn't that right, Mo? Do you like P.I.? I love pie. Silence, fool. You ought to respond with the whole truth. No fractions.
Order! Order!
Mo, you didn't see the roses, did you? To be honest, there weren't any roses on the person I saw.
Objection!
The crime scene was dark. It's obvious it was too dark to see that kind of detail.
Objection!
But the witness said he was able to see the silhouette of the criminal's face. Not to mention that the roses are white. There's no way he could have missed them.
Objection!
Then the roses must have fallen off the defendant when the defendant assaulted the victim. If that was the case, then the police would have found them near the crime scene.
Mr. Wright, are these white roses truly material to the facts of this case?
Clearly not. He's just toying with this court. I got her on the ropes now. These seemingly insignificant facts have never failed to lead me to the truth yet. Someone is toying with the court, but it's not me. Your Honor, do you recall Trillo's testimony? There's no way I could mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. How can you mistake someone with that crazy getup and his nose stuck up so high? How could you mistake someone wearing such a snobby 3-piece getup? Trillo saw them all. Trillo saw all 3 of Max's symbols. However, this witness claims that there were no white roses on the person he saw. There's absolutely no doubt that this is a contradiction.
Now what am I supposed to think? One is supposed to disregard the pointless, but this...
Judge, forget the roses. Think about his other testimony. The witness has stated without a doubt that he saw Maximilian Galactica. Nothing else matters. Let's wrap this case up now. Your Honor, it may be trivial, but it does cast doubt on the prosecution's case.
Frankly, I have my doubts about this witness. It seems that unlike wine, the witness has not grown more mature with age.
I'm not mature.
I've come to a conclusion. I'm 99% certain that this witness saw the defendant. However, my remaining 1% of doubt is quite reasonable, which means that for my peace of mind, I'm going to request a bit more testimony.
Well, what?
If there are no contradictions in his next statement, I'm prepared to issue a ruling.
A ruling? Nick, this is your last chance. There's no doubt in my mind. There were no white roses that night. However, all of the other symbols were there. I'm equally sure of that. Especially the silk hat. There's no way I could forget seeing the decorations on it. He was wearing it the entire time that he was on the scene.
Mr. Wright, you've got one last chance at this.
Just one chance?
I will not allow even the slightest hints of badgering this witness. If you're going to prove to me that there's a contradiction with Mr. Curls' statement, you'd better have at least a shred of evidence to back up your accusations.
I've got only a single shot at this. I've got to be careful. I understand, Your Honor. One chance is all I will need. Let me save. For the hat.
Objection!
This wouldn't happen to be the silk hat you saw that night, would it? Yep, that's it. That's the hat he was wearing that night. No question in your mind?
Exactly how would one mistake a thing like that? I see. Is there some sort of problem, Mr. Wright? Miss Von Karma? Where exactly was the silk hat found? Must you always ask these questions? It was found at the crime scene. The crime scene? That means... The silk hat fell off the crime scene. However, the witness clearly testified to the contrary. The witness stated that he was wearing it the entire time that he was on the scene. No, that's not true! Order, order, order! Mr. Curls! Yes, Your Honor. What is the meaning of all this? You're old enough to have to... Whew, the judge's voice. Whew. You are old enough to know better than to behave like this in court. Hey, that's not right. That's so harsh. What's not right here is your eyesight and your memory, amongst other things. What? Why are you being so mean to me? What did I do? Let me guess. You just didn't like my jokes or something, right? You didn't have to go and insult my eyesight or my memory. They're both great. Seriously, why? Just because you're sitting how old I get, I always see younger. Ah! Sob. Enough of these childish outbursts, Mr. Curls. Who do you think you are? I saw him. I swear I saw him. It was Max. Even if he didn't have his robes, he was still wearing that dumb silk hat. I'm telling the truth. He's turned into a bratty little kid. It's pitiful, isn't it? He left the scene wearing that dumb silk hat. He was there. He left the scene? What's the matter, Nick? There's something I've been mulling over for a while now. Mo? What do you want? He just said that he left the scene. Exactly how did the murderer leave the scene of the crime? What? He went... What do you mean, how did he leave the scene? You can't ask me that. Mr. Phoenix Wright is badgering the witness, Your Honor. Bitch, this witness's testimony is so full of holes, Miss Von Karma. Protest is useless. You could call it Swiss cheese. You've got a point. Let's hear what the witness has to say on this matter. Is that all right with you, little guy? Don't talk to me like I'm a little baby. Besides, what kind of stupid question is that? Is how did he leave the crime scene? The answer's obvious. He just turned around and walked away. That's what I expected you to say. You sure that's how it happened? Say what? Huh? I'm not sure I know exactly where you're going with this. Lawyers nowadays sure do love to hop on the smallest things. Do you have any proof to counter his story as to how he left the criminal scene? Well, you see his footprints, but you don't see the victim's footprint. But you don't see the defendant's footprints.
Take that!
Look at this picture. Look at this photograph! The problem is the footprints in the snow. Footprints? In this photo, we can clearly see the footprints of the victim. However, where are the criminal's footprints? They aren't there. Ay, 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 ay! Slam. So, Mo, exactly how did the criminal escape the crime scene? Your Honor, this witness has already proven that his testimony is completely unreliable. I move to strike all of witness's testimony from the court record. I agree. This clown's testimony is as rickety as the clown car he came to court in. Wait just a second! You guys just can't just ignore everything I've said. Fine, fine, I'll tell you the truth this time. You wait a second. I think you've said more than enough for today. That didn't hurt. I'm sick and tired of listening to you anyways. I'll give you the real deal this time, I swear. I don't know why, but I get the feeling things are gonna get worse before they get better. Mr. Lawrence Curl. Yes? The testimony you provided up until now has been false?
It hasn't been false. I haven't lied. It's
just what?
I was a bit confused on the bit about the criminal leaving the scene. Especially since Von Karma and her wit told me not to talk about what I really saw.
Bitch, you will be held in contempt in court. Order! Order! I will have order! Franziska Von Karma, how could you?
Your Honor, if you had heard the truth from this witness, you would have exactly the same opinion as I have.
What opinion is that?
It's not funny.
That's enough out of you. I'm going to listen what he has to say. Now then, let's hear the truth about what you say you saw, Mr. Curls.
Ha! You're not going to believe this, but it's all true, I tell you.
Try not to waste our time with your idiotic drivel.
Now it's time for our next segment, Mo Knows. Everything that I've said up until now has been the truth. When I looked out the window, the ringmaster was down and Max was standing up. He wasn't wearing his white roses, but he was wearing the silk hat. That's when I saw he...
It looks like Tuxedo Mask killed Dr. Robotnik.
This is the truth for now. Get ready for it. He flew. He jumped up and flew through the air. He flew right off and disappeared into the darkness. That's why there were no footprints. Blind people don't leave footprints.
Oh, God. I told you it wasn't funny. Do you believe me now?
Well, that was... how do you put this into words?
Maximilian Galactica is a world-class magician. But to leave the scene of a crime by flying, there's no way that actually happened.
You're right.
Why is she right? You believe the other witnesses. Why won't you believe me? Especially since it's the best part of the story.
To be honest, this is the first time I've heard of a flying criminal. What do you think about this witness's testimony, Mr. Wright?
This is all a dream, right? Right now, I can't believe any of this. I'm not even sure if this day hasn't been some kind of Kafkaesque dream.
Ow! Now do you think it's still a dream? Huh, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
I suppose I will let you all in on my thinking regarding this matter. The criminal disappeared into the sky. I'd love to believe that. But I just can't wrap my head around how that could actually happen.
You imbecile!
If you disregard a need for proof, Miss Von Karma's case is sound. However, I've got the feeling that this case is in dire need of more investigation. Thus, I will conclude today's proceedings at this point. It's an undisputed fact that the criminal left no footprints at the scene. Tomorrow, I want us to find out the reason behind this mystery of mysteries. I believe that's enough for today. Court is adjourned.
Alright, let's see what he has to say after the fact.
Hey, sweeties, what in the world is going on?
That's what I want to know. They say the criminal flew off into the air and disappeared. Max, I can't believe I'm asking this, but you didn't fly that night, did you?
I know you didn't mean to ask me such a fabulously stupid question. I can't fly whenever I please. It's not that easy.
But it looks so effortless for you on stage.
It's not that simple. I'm not actually flying on stage. I use invisible wires and have them hoist me through the air.
Wow, you just told me a secret to your magic.
No, I broke the first rule. The cardinal rule. The only rule.
I sound like Hugh Neutron now, I don't know why. I'm sorry, Max. It made you break a magician's creed to never reveal the secret to their tricks.
Nick, what do we do now?
All we can do is hope we find the flying criminal in court tomorrow.
Great idea. Let's do our best to catch this sucker.
Well, with that, I think I'm going to leave it for now, because I just can't take much more right now. I hope... I'm just going to say this. I'm gonna make a crack theory right now. The monkey killed the ringmaster. That's my theory. But hey, it's just a theory, a game theory. Thanks for watching. This isn't actually game theory, because I actually take pride in what I do. Anyway, if you like this, maybe leave a like, comment, maybe subscribe, hit that bell notification to know when I play more. I promise I'll get through this quick. Hopefully, maybe we'll see. Anyway, hope you all have a pleasant evening and a pleasant rest of your day. That didn't make any sense, but anyway. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one.